We have so much exciting VR news to talk about this week, and I just want to get straight into it. If you've been following the channel or VR news in general, you probably know about Apple's upcoming MR headset, Reality Pro. Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, hopped on an interview with GQ and talked about his excitement for VR. He first talked about how he first joined Apple when the company was nearly bankrupt, back in the day. But Steve Jobs convinced him that Apple could change the world. Whether you're an Android or iPhone fan, you cannot deny that Apple really has changed the world. He goes on to say that some technology could even be better than the real world, while he was still being secretive about Reality Pro. He also adds that if you could overlay the physical world with things from the digital world, it could greatly enhance people's communication, people's connection, and it could empower people to achieve things they couldn't achieve before. As a fan of VR and AR, I truly believe that this is where the future is heading towards, and all of this wouldn't be possible without you guys who support these companies with VR and AR technologies. It is pretty interesting that Tim Cook is now pro VR because back in the day when Google Glass came out almost 10 years ago now, he stated that hardware that's worn on the head is too invasive. Now that he's changed his mind, this speaks to me as the largest company in the world has determined that now is a good time to get into VR and AR. Pretty much a lot of rumors suggested that this headset is planned for release in 2023. But it's like every week that we hear new updates that Reality Pro is delayed, it's coming at WWDC, it's not coming at WWDC, and things like that. Right now, as I make this video, Minchiko, who is one of the best Apple source leakers, tells us that this headset will not get announced at WWDC 2023 in June since it was pushed back to Q3, which would put it from July to September timeframe. I just assumed that the delay was due to manufacturing delays, but apparently that's not the reason. Minchiko suggests that Apple wanted Reality Pro to recreate the iPhone moment when the original iPhone was released back in the day, but we're just not seeing the demand for VR right now. I think through Reality Pro and the launch of Quest 3, it could bring back the fuel needed to bump VR up. But as of right now, the numbers tells us that the demand is just not there. Within the past few months, we've seen Sony cut its 2023 production plan for PSVR 2 by about 20%, the product cycle shipment for Quest Pro to be only around 300,000 units, and the headsets from Pico, which is the most popular headset in China, saw a decrease of more than 40% in shipment. As in any hardware market, there are ups and downs that VR market also goes through, and it's just a natural part of the cycle. I'm just personally excited to see what kind of groundbreaking features we can see from Apple's Reality Pro, since whatever features they innovate and include, other VR headset makers will be able to incorporate similar features to make all VR headsets better for the future. We got news recently that VRChat, the popular social VR platform, is working on a flat screen port for both Android and iPhone devices. This is a very interesting move from VRChat as the social platform shines as you use your VR headset and controllers to really portray the character you want to be. On the other hand, this opens up the platform to millions and millions more people, which could be a plus, so you can interact with more people. Right now, the beta access is around the corner and is expected to arrive in 3 to 4 months for VRChat Plus members, and is expected to release the public version on the Google Play Store 3 to 6 months after the beta test. As I don't spend too much time in VRChat even though I want to, I really want to hear from you guys that spend a lot more time in VRChat on this topic. I see a lot of pros as well as cons with this announcement, but people that are on the platform more should be able to provide better insight into this. The other notable VR social platform, Rec Room, already has flat screen versions of the game available on your phone or gaming platforms. We've also heard from Walkabout Minigolf that they'll be releasing Walkabout Minigolf on mobile, which I'm really excited about, and this might be a trend a lot of VR games will go through as their path to improvement. I think it would be super cool to see games like Gorilla Tag or Poker Stars to make their way to mobile, but again, if the controls aren't imported properly, it may have a lot of downsides as well. Earlier in the video, I brought up that VR still has a long way to go before we compete with other gaming platforms or to be a part of everyday life like a phone. John Carmack, the former Oculus CTO, shared his vision for VR's future in a podcast with Andrew Bosworth, who controls many aspects of development and management of MetaQuest devices. Even though John Carmack left Meta late last year, which was a very sad day for the VR community, he says that he's still part of the effort, and Andrew Balls even says that John is a permanent member of the VR team. When I asked the members of the VR community what we need or want to see in future headsets like Quest 3, a lot of the time, it's resolution, performance, and better games, which I agree are very, very important for VR success. It was just interesting to me what John Carmack had to say regarding this topic. Carmack's vision has always focused on 3 very important things for VR, which are lightweight, cheap or affordable, and being fast. Balls asked Carmack which one of the 3 is the critical feature to push for future VR headsets. Carmack refused to pick one of the 3, and he actually went with a new option, which was reducing friction. He compares the VR experience to using a phone. Your phone doesn't have to acknowledge or set up the Guardian feature every time you start it up. Your phone doesn't have controllers you have to wake up before using it. His vision for VR's future is being instant. It's a very interesting correlation since Meta recently announced that people who have purchased the Quest 2 around the holiday season did spend some time on it, but a lot of people are just not using the headset after a while. And they believe that one of the bigger reasons for this is that it's a hassle to put on the headset and controllers compared to just picking up the controller and playing for something like a PlayStation 5. If we can get to a point where VR headsets are just as instant as other hardware we have in our lives, he wants to see VR replacing a lot of the things we have, including TV, tablets, computers, and things like that. And as VR is still an early technology, who knows what the possibilities are in the future. Right now in 2023, the technology is just expensive to include VR on top of everything you might have. You have your phone, laptop, tablet, smartwatch, TV, and Xbox, and if you're a VR supporter, you gotta buy the headset on top of that. In the future, I can see the headset being cheaper in a way, since if you get a VR headset, you can do everything that you want to do on a TV, tablet, laptop, and an Xbox, which ultimately gets rid of the need to buy those hardware, reducing the overall cost you would otherwise spend. Just like the best minds in this world like Tim Cook is seeing the potential for VR, John Carmack is still bullish on this technology. This podcast between Balls and Carmack is available on Apple and Spotify, and they even go into topics like the decision to shut down Echo VR as well as other VR related talks. I highly recommend listening to it if you're interested, so I'll leave the link in the description below. Let me know your thoughts on the topics we discussed today, whether it's Apple, VR chat, or VR's future, as I am so excited to talk about and hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.